Hi friends! This week, I'm going to start a new prompt book. Don't worry, I haven't abandoned my Create This book. I just thought it would be fun to work on a few different ones. I'm going to start Draw Your Journal by Bellamina. I got this on Amazon and it's pristine and fresh. So let's just jump into it. The first page I'm going to do says, Draw Your Hello. When I first read this prompt, I thought, if I were to wave hello and have my essence come out,
Gross.
what would that look like? Rainbow, obviously. Let's speed through me doing a terrible job trying to draw 6 even stripes. It's not like I don't draw them every single video. I'm going to attempt to make this hand look like a real hand and not a blob, so I erase these lines until I can just barely see them. I'm going to start with markers for the color portion. No particular reason, other than this has some pretty big areas to fill, and I'm lazy.
That is a weird choice to color the nails.
This was going along pretty well until I got to the main part of the hand. Forgot that the most important thing with alcohol markers is to have the area that you're currently covering touch an area that's still a little wet. That way it blends evenly and doesn't end up like this giant blotchy mess. Also, make sure that your plastic protective sheet doesn't still have marker on it from the last time you used it, because that will bleed through. I'm trying to fix this with some shading, but whew, we're looking rough. For the rainbow, I went for super vibrant colors. And you can see how I'm going back and forth with the marker, making sure to always touch the previous stroke. That's what I should have done before. There are a few areas where the colors touch and around the edges that bled a little, but I'll fix that with this next step. I'm using colored pencils to sharpen up the edges and try to even out the coverage. By picking colors almost exactly matching the markers, I can fill in any lighter patches and perfect the lines, without having to press really hard and burnish the pencil onto the page. I also tried to fix that weird spot on the hand, but I think I made it worse and it just looks like a wart now. I really like this page, but it needed something else. What else is in my essence? Sprinkles! I just love the way they look. And even though I'm not a super big dessert person, I could eat sprinkles by the bowlful. I used a white gel pen to put sprinkles on the rainbow and colored pencils to put sprinkles around the edge. I love this page so much. I wish I could shoot rainbows and sprinkles out of my hand when I say hello.
That's a good way to get disinvited everywhere.
The next page I'm going to do says, Draw Your Sport. I've only ever been moderately good at one sport in my life. Even though I tried a few others here and there, I never stuck with anything as long as I played roller derby. I played for about 10 years, so I knew that's what I wanted to draw here. Roller derby is played by humans, and my human drawing skills are not great. So instead I decided to draw my roller derby Patronus. I wasn't necessarily a super fast skater, but I was able to hit kind of hard and knock people over pretty well, so I chose a rhino. Here I'm adding all the appropriate safety gear to her. A helmet to protect from percussions? She's not a drum. A helmet to protect from concussions, wrist, elbow, and knee pads, and of course roller skates. I really liked the way the stripes filled the background on the last page, so I decided to do it again. And since I want this to look a bit more cartoony, I'm adding line work around the outside. I'm gonna go for colored pencil with this girl, but my hand almost immediately regretted it. I wanted her to still look even and not pencil-y, so I either had to press really hard or use a blender on each section. The team that I played on had the colors neon pink and green, so that's the color I chose for her pads. Here I'm finishing the smaller areas and details. Stripes behind her are going to match her body. Like she's so fast that she's leaving a trail behind her.
Still sounds gross.
Blending this out makes it look so much better, but I hated every single second of it. And I went through like half a blender pencil just for this video. I really should have just stuck with markers for this page. But once it's all done, I do really like this page. And she needs a name. How about
Battle Unicorn.
the last page I'm going to do says, draw your success. Draw something you've accomplished. One of the things I am most proud of is being a teacher. Getting my certification was one of the most stressful times of my life, but I was so proud of myself when it was finally done. Just recently, I was also promoted to principal. If my upload schedule seems a little erratic lately, that's why. My school is a Montessori school, so the items I'm drawing are Montessori materials. Except for the books. Those are just normal, terribly drawn books. Let's try that again. Nope. One more time. Finally. I lined all these drawings just to make them look a little bit more finished. I also added an area that says principal, just because it still sounds so weird to say. 10 points if you recognize this font. None of these objects actually have to do with being principal, but I still have my own classroom, so it counts. If I drew objects relating to being a principal, it would be endless emails, meetings, and my own tears. But back to the actual drawing. These are called color tabs. We use them in a bunch of different ways to learn about colors. Montessori uses a lot of physical objects to teach concepts rather than flashcards or more abstract things. These are books. We use them to read. This is something very creatively called a pink tower. It's a tower of surprisingly heavy wooden cubes that we use to learn about dimension. And it feels great when it falls on your foot. These last items are sandpaper numbers. We use them to teach numerals. The numerals themselves are textured sandpaper so that the child can feel the number with their fingers. After coloring and blending all of these, I used a black pencil to darken up some of the lines that got colored over, and a white gel pen to cover up a few mistakes. And here's the page done. When I actually colored this, I was super glad to be done with it because my hand was killing me from all of the coloring and blending, but looking back at it now, I feel like it looks just a bit unfinished. So I might go back and add labels or drop shadows to each object. Overall, I really like this page though, and it still makes me really proud to be a teacher. That's all I had time to do this week. What do you think? Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.